Revivified. Hey folks, it's Saturday morning. It's my Saturday morning workbench. I work on game design, artwork, Dungeons & Dragons game prep, and book production. So we do a medley of different things. We're going to start off with Spelljammer Subclasses for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Give me a second here to check my signal. And just to make sure that we're up and running, I'll drop word on the socials, and then we'll get to work. Make sure that we're up and running. Sounds like the mic check is working just fine. Creating a little bit of drag there. Let me get this linked up and fired off, and then we'll do the. Let's see, bump like that, and then we press enter, and if everything goes excellent, cool. So let's see, I'm pressing some buttons here. Just a quick intro. My name is Phil Kearney. Hey, I stream 10 times per week. I do artwork, fantasy illustrations in the mornings. I'm currently working on an Eberron adventure that's publishing for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. That'll be placed on the DMsGuild. So Monday through Friday, I do like cartography, token, and book illustration artwork, as well as like some layout design work. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Friday lunches, I stream game design. We had published the Color Mana Spell Point variant rules for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition on the DMsGuild, and all of those rules need updating. So we're going to be going through the process of revising all of the mechanics so that everything is compliant with 2024, as well as I first published Color Mana Spellpoint variant rules in 2017, and I've been using them ever since. So there's been a number of iterations and revisions and discoveries, like little subtleties. The system's solid as it sits, but there's ways to make it more fun and dynamic that we've discovered along the ways that we're going to integrate into the books and update, basically glam up everything. So I am currently going through the process of chunk. Okay, we should be good on all those fronts. Okay, great. So let me fix my screens here to here. And okay, great. So this is the Twitter platform. I'm at Phil Kearney here. We have our playtest for the Martial Power System up on my Discord. So if you want to participate, just click through and join in. I have illustrations, look-sees, early looks, revisions, works in progress, coupons, notifications. We just had a really cool article come from Polyhedron magazine about the Subclasses Revivified, which is a book I participated in September. It takes all 69 subclasses that were not placed in the 2024 handbook and update them to utilize 2024 mechanics. We stream the whole thing here. You can check out my playlist if you want. In addition to that, here on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we are live in the future. Like I said, we stream 10 times per week. On Mondays and Fridays in the evening, we stream game design work as well. And on Saturday morning workbench, we do all sorts of stuff. So let's see. So there's that. Check it out. Let's see. Where are we at right now? First thing. Okay, so we're gonna start with the Spelljammer, and we're doing updates to. Let's see. We have the Warforged and Machines, which is a mecha pilot book using the Spelljammer mechanic set. Okay, just step back for a hot second. Spelljammer. You can check out my Spelljammer book here on DMsGuild by clicking on the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration link, which is here. It'll take you to the DMsGuild here, and if you click on full preview, you get the entire 107-page book that you can look at. If you buy it, God bless you, and it comes with 130 tokens, maps, ships, deck plans, and tokens for NPCs, monsters, ships, during the Light of Zaraxis encounter. So, this basically redefines ship combat utilizing 5e character action economy. Just to prove what I'm talking about here real quick, because it's going to be relevant to the builds that we're doing today. The two major character-focused things is action economy and ability checks. Those are the two things that impact your character the most in any kind of a game situation. So if we scroll down here, we can see ship roles. Whether you're a pilot, whether you're commanding siege crews, whether you're commanding squadrons of fighter craft or vessels, or if you're playing a support role on your deck, that is not determined by your character class or your ability, like your proficiencies or feats or anything like that. It's simply by how you spend your action economy. Each round of combat, you can swap in and out of different objects that you're interacting with or crews that you are commanding to perform different ship type activities, firing siege weapons, maneuvering the ship, utilizing ship siege weapons, casting spells from above or below deck that affect either your crew or anything outside of the space of your ship. This is all you can either use group initiative, where everyone piles their action economy together into a big jumble, and then we decide as a team how do we want the ship to operate this round, and everyone parses out tasks that they'll perform based on what action economy they have available and what objects are they focusing on, whether it's the helm or the orrery navigation system or any of the siege weapons on your ship. These will determine what roles you can play by what you can interact with. And once you know what you can interact with, you can contribute your action economy into a pile to perform all of those things, or you can retain linear initiative, where when it turns up your turn, well, I'm a pilot, so when it becomes my turn, we're going to maneuver the ship and engage in melee combat. And then, like at the back end of it, is like where our fighter is performing the role as a siege commander to coordinate a volley of ballista fire at whatever ship gets set up by the pilot. Or if you're using group initiative, the pilot and the fighter, they already know what they're going to be doing, so they can just do those things together. So there's like this really, it's a very vague kind of cloud of action economy that you can lend to each other as you need. Like you could do a group initiative at the front of combat. Whoever has the highest initiative triggers your team to go. Everyone can contribute as much action economy as they want to the ship immediately, and then you can hold back actions for yourself. Like I'm going to hold my reaction and my bonus action, or like the siege, like the siege commander fighter. He's like, I'm going to use my bonus action and all my attacks, and if I need to, my reactions to fire and reload weapons until I run out of action economy. And somebody else may be like, I can chip in a reaction on that, and someone else will be like, I can chip in a bonus action on that, so that at the end of it, you have like 3 reactions, 2 bonus actions, and a full attack that you have to parse out across 7 actions, for instance. So you can make that decision as a group, and as you play more, you decide, do you want to retain individual activities, or do you like piling them all together? It can change depending on what the battle is. And then the other thing of relevance is if we click on the exploration, there's detecting objects in space. Depending on how big they are and how far away they are will determine how difficult it is to detect them. So when you're flying at 100 million miles per day, which is roughly 10,000 miles per round, you're going to want to see things coming. so you don't smash into them. If they're a big enough threat for you to hit, as you can see here, your minimum ranges on stuff, there's a 10,000 mile per round maximum speed that you can achieve. So to be able to see out far enough around ahead to avoid something, it has to be 1,000 miles in size. Like basically like a small moon or larger is basically what you're going to be looking at. Anything smaller than that, it's going to hit you within the same round that you're seeing it coming. Most things will never actually hit you, but they can. And so that's something you need to pay attention to. So classes can have different options on improving how they pilot to maneuver around things or being able to see things in advance. Fun stuff. Maximum, yeah, if it's 50 feet, like to be able to see fine detail, 10,000 miles. I'm sorry, there's detail, there's noticing, and then there's detection. Detection range is how far away can an orrery navigation system detect the object. And at 10,000 miles and around, it only has to be up to 50 feet in size. If it's smaller than 50 feet in size, you can still detect 1,000 miles away like a person. 5-foot space. You can see them 1,000 miles ahead of time if you pick up on them coming in. But the DCs are really high. You can notice things with your bare eye because at that point they're just large enough that you can just naturally see them if you don't have atmospheric disturbance creating obscurity. And then detail is how close do they need to be to be able to read their name tag or like tell what flag is flying on their ship, stuff like that. So it's and then if you have like a telescope, it expands your range by 10. It increases the magnitude by 10. So like to be able to read what flag is on a ship, that level of detail, like say at the 50-foot scale where we're at with a ship, you could be, if you're using a telescope, a mile away to be able to read that flag through the telescope. And that's reasonable. So these are good ballpark numbers that you can use actually inside of a normal D&D game. Like if you're looking through the woods and like, what kind of a thing is that? Well, how large is that thing and how far away is it? That'll give you an idea of how easily can you actually identify what it is. So these are some of the ability uses of ability checks that we've incorporated into the game to not only make staring into the vastness of reality quantifiable with numbers, but it can also then be transposed and taken into a dungeon crawl or a hex crawl campaign on a planet where you're looking through terrain and exploring and seeing the size of different objects. How far away could I see that ruined city? You know, for me to notice a ruined city that occupies a 1 mile space, I would probably need to be within 10 miles of it for us to be able to make out real details. Somewhere between 10 and 1,000 miles. With atmospheric disturbance, I can't see 1,000 miles away. But if I'm up in a mountain, I might be able to notice it, say, 200 miles away if I have enough elevation to see that far off. Like, oh yeah, it looks like there's a ruin over there, but I can't make out any details about it. We need to hex crawl to that location, so let's get down off the mountain into the valley, travel through the forest, and once we get to a ridge, we can take another look and we'll be able to see that ruins once we're within 10 miles, or it's less than half a day away. Let's just keep going. That's very sensible numbers that you can incorporate into any game. So that's like the quick of it. So the subclasses that we're building lean into these ideas and manipulate that data, these different mechanics that we have in that book, and see how individual characters can implement and improve upon them. So we have the actual PDF document here that we'll be referencing. And we were looking at the Void Hunter. I think what we want is first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So let's go. We're going to have to pick up the Air Bubble spell and the Create Spelljamming Helm. We're going to have to pick those up and add those to the book. Actually, let's add that to our to-do list. I have a list of updates that we're building here. And since 2024 didn't pick up the Air Bubble or Create Spelljammer Helm, we're going to have to incorporate that stuff ourselves. So let's go down to the spellcasting chapter. I can just click on this icon here and it'll take us to spellcasting. So here's how amplifying spells work. So you can cast them through your ship to be able to, like, ships operate at the 50 and the 500 foot scale, as opposed to characters at the 5 foot scale. So for us to increase the magnitude of a spell so that it can, find trap, for a horrible example, has a certain foot range, but that's worthless if you're on a ship unless you're looking for traps on that ship. If you're looking at traps in space, like if you're going through an asteroid field and maybe the asteroids are trapped and you don't want your ship to get snared, then you can cast a find trap spell out there. And it would then increase this range not to feet, but like hundreds of feet or even miles, depending on scale, how far you're willing to amplify it. And you amplify by upcasting. But since 2024 renders anything prior to 2024 questionable, we have to rebuild a bunch of stuff. Like later on today, we're going to rebuild backgrounds for Ravnica, Strixhaven, and Theros, which we've been working on during the weekdays at lunch. We'll continue that, but we need to go into the... what I wanted to do was... right, so we have notable spells, and we're going to probably have to switch some of these because, like, for example, Blade Ward is gone. Blade Ward is garbage now, so it only gives you a +2 bonus, which you could upcast, but it used to give you a resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, which is if you're casting it into a ship, that's huge. But that's gone now, so we can restructure all the spells here. So what we need to do is, where are we at right now? What level? What page are we on right now? Come on, man. Where's the thing? There's a little, yeah, thank you. Page 53. 5, 56. What page is this? This is page 57. So, page 58. Add lost spells. And I think the only two spells that we got from Spelljammer was Air Bubble and Create Helm. So let me verify that. D&D Beyond. If you got any specific questions about anything, I am happy to entertain. This is my workbench. I'm just getting stuff done today. So we're building through stuff and talking through the process that goes along with it while we do it. So get a smattering of everything today because it's my workbench. Let's see. Astral Plane, Air Envelopes, Helms, Rock of Brawl, how it works, magic spells. There we go. Air Bubble, create spell gun, and 5th. Create spell jamming helm. Period. Cool. So Ranger will get Air Bubble. So we'll include the spells in this book for sure, as well as in the core book. This will be a this is a separate, since that Spelljammer book is already published, and we'll be updating it. We're just going to stay to the confines of what that book holds. And here we're going to we can add those spells and still be relevant to the spell list here. But this will be a separate publication with like new art, new cover, new layouts, and we'll build all that out here on stream as well. And once we get to the artwork, we'll be doing that in the morning after we finish the Eberron adventure. So we're basically stacking up like 8 books that we're doing artwork for and revising on the side as we complete the Eberron adventure. I love that. Create spell jamming helm. I think pretty much all these dudes are gonna have create spell jamming helm. What's other fun 4th level spells? Let's go fish. Come on. There we go. Spells. It's hard for me to drag across sometimes. I got bad aim. Spell level, spell school. Let's go. Oh, sorry, I want to show the advanced options. Source category is going to be 2024 core rules only. Filter. So let's see what fun spells we might want to give the Ranger Void Hunter. Let's grab that page there. Void Hunter, so what do we get? We have Amplified Mark. So while piloting or focusing on an orrery station, you can amplify the Hunter's Mark spell to a range of 1 mile without expending additional spell slots. And because you expend additional spell slots to amplify a spell, and Hunter's Mark is still a spell. So you can amplify, if you're using the martial power system, you would be able to amplify the feature if you spent a point of mana, for instance. And while focusing on an orrery, you don't have to maintain concentration on the spell. Nice. Intuitive because focus is an object-based concentration. Concentration is when you're concentrating on a spell-like effect or something similar to that, like haste spell, for instance. But focus is when you are occupying the space of, or in close proximity to, a magical object that you pay attention to. Focus becomes you're paying attention to that thing. Kind of like you're concentrating, you're paying attention to keeping the spell on. Focus can be activated simply by taking an action or a bonus action to just focus on the object. So you can focus on 2 objects in a round, action, bonus action. The rogue, I think we're going to make as an object interaction. So you can use, like, you can walk over using your movement, sit down on a spelljamming helm, use your bonus action to focus on it, and then as an object interaction, then move the ship and still have your standard action open to attack, cast a spell, increase movement again as a dash action, or whatever else it is that your character has. Play a hand of cards with your friends while you're bored. But that's how efficiently you can use your action economy. Get onto the ship, sit down at the helm. That's your movement. Bonus action, focus on the helm so you can now pilot. Use your object interaction to pilot the ship to begin movement, and then your standard action or attack action is open to do whatever you need. So in the same round of combat, you can run over, jump onto, take off, and start attacking immediately, like say on a rocket cycle. That's how efficiently you can use your action economy, by blending what your character can do with what your character can do as the ship. It's almost as though when you pilot, it's almost like you're polymorphing yourself into the ship while you're piloting, which we're going to see some of down in the Druid once we get there. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're picking out spells. So Amplified Mark, Intuitive Scanning. You can take the scan action without focusing on an orrery station, so you can just naturally scan space without having to use tools anymore. While piloting, you can take the hide action to conceal your ship from detection by orrery scans, even if there's no objects to conceal your presence. Yeah, so like the ranger gets the what is it, vanish or whatever, to turn invisible for a round, and you can do that a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier or something, maybe proficiency bonus, something like that, and it only lasts for a round. This is, you can hide just as an action, so kind of leaning into it. Tireless Focus. While focusing on a helm or orrery station, you don't need to drink, eat, or sleep. In addition, remaining focused this way for 24 hours is considered completing a long rest. So basically, a ranger that is piloting a ship never has to stop piloting the ship. And as long as they keep piloting the ship, they can keep piloting the ship longer. Neat. It's almost like a lich-like ability, but hey, that's the ranger. So fun ideas. So those are what we got. But that doesn't click in until 15th level. So I mean, legendary. Let's so now that we know what the guy can do, let's see if there's anything cool around here. I think I want to go by spell level. It's not a +2 bonus, right? Yeah, they subtract D4 from the attack roll. Dancing Lights, Druidcraft, Mending. Mending is a cantrip. Mending. Dancing Lights. Those are cantrips that are you can use Dancing Lights for more signal. Zick Light they call it, but you can do Morse code with Dancing Lights by having to click on and off, and you can run multiple at the same, because you can have 4 Dancing Lights. So you can have the Dancing Lights almost do like what is it? Hex. Why can't I think of the name of hex code? Fuck, it's not binary. It's not the normal alphabet. It's hexadecimal. That's not the right word, but it's the machine code that uses hexes. Maybe it's hexadecimal. Can't fucking think of the name. But regardless, you have 4 Dancing Lights that you can use to trigger different syllable combinations if you're well versed in the language, which you could pick up as one of the languages that you learn if you wanted to. So now we have those. So then let's go into first level spells. Mending you can just use as a cantrip or as a ritual to heal your ship over time. Let's see. Get through all the cantrips. Thank you. Bane Blast. I'm just looking for interesting, because you can amplify these things to be able to affect your ship, not just the individual character level that you're used to. So when I'm picking through the spells, I'm trying to think of what would be useful while piloting a ship for you to do for your ship, as opposed to just as your character. Expeditious Retreat's not a bad idea. And there's probably another gem laying around in here somewhere. And we're gonna go up to 5th level because of Ranger Scaffolding. Good Berry, Grease, Guiding Bolt, Heroism, Hex, Hunter's Mark, Ice Knife, Illusory Script, Jump, Long Strider. Searing Smite, Shield. Yeah, Shield. Shield's a fun spell to pick up for a ship pilot. 2nd level, we have Air Bubble already. What's next? Alter Self, Aid. What is Arcane Vigor? And regain a number of hit points equal to the roll's total plus your spellcasting ability. Roll 1 or 2 of your unexpended hit point dice. Those dice are then expended. 1 or 2. Huh. Nah. Descends, Blur, Calm, Cloud, Continual, Hordon, Crown, Darkness, Dark Vision, Detect. Thank you, Timely Timer. Enhance Ability is not a bad one. Has advantage on ability checks using the chosen ability. Yeah, Enhance Ability is actually a decent one, because piloting is an ability check. So, and you get to choose which ability you want. So that curves out nicely. Let's just keep tooling forward to see if there's any 2nd level spells that jump out as, oh yeah, that's much better. But ability knock, no, I bet we're not going to find anything better than we already got. But we'll tool. I mean, we gotta get through them anyway, so we may as well. Prayer, Protection, Ray, Rope Trick, hiding your ship in a rope trick. That's always fun. Warding Bond is such a great spell, but not for a pilot. For a support character, sure. You know what? Honestly, I want Rope Trick. But Enhanced Ability is better. Yeah. 3rd level. What's some cool stuff we can pick up for 3rd? Conjure Barrage, Counterspell, Create, Counter Say, Daylight, Dispel, Fear, Feign, Fireball. I'm thinking ship utility. Ooh, Glorful Witting. What's the material component on that? 200 gold pieces worth of diamond dust. You can store a prepared spell of level 3 or lower in the glyph by casting it as part of creating the glyph. The spell must target a single creature or an area. The spell being stored has no immediate effect when cast this way. When the glyph is triggered, the stored spell takes effect. If the spell has a target, the creature that triggered the glyph is the target. If it's an area of effect, the area is centered on that creature. If the spell summon hostile creatures or greater harmful objects or traps, They appear as close as possible to the intruder and attack as required. If the attack requires concentration, it lasts until the end of its full duration, so it does not require concentration. God, Glyph of Warding on a ship sounds fucking sick. Using higher level spell slots, the damage of an explosion rune increases by 1d8. If you create a spell glyph, you can store any spell up to the same level as the spell slot you use for the Glyph of Warding. Glyph of Warding is an incredibly useful spell for spelljamming ships. I am really surprised I hadn't thought about that before, but you can deck, pardon the pun, you can deck out a ship, just coat it in wards that you can trigger as part of your action, your combat action routine. It would be an object interaction, action, or bonus action to trigger them, but you can. So you can have healing wards set up throughout the ship, like to repair your ship. You can have wards set up at different points on your ship to repair it as it takes damage. God, what level is this? 3rd level spell? You could, yeah, I really feel like I need to spend some time talking about Glyph of Warding. Holy shit. That's probably page 53. Page 53. Spend time on Glyph of Warding. Holy shit. I think I have a theme now. I think I have a theme now for my sorcerer. Oh, that's exciting. That is exciting. All right, so let's finish up the ranger spell selection. That's what we're currently working on, right? Holy shit, that's cool. What is Lehman's Tiny Hut? That's actually a really good one. Lehman's Tiny Hut. What else? Non-detection's non-detection is great because it keeps you off of an orrery station's radar, like literally. So then 4th level, holy crap, that's fun. And God, Sending's a great spell too. What's more important, non-detection and Lehman's Tiny Hut or Sending? Nah. Rangers are stealth based, so that's the right choice there. 4th level, we only need 1/5. Blight. Remind me what that does. You can see within range. That just takes necrotic damage. It's just a target thing. Nope. Banishment. Nah. Arcane Eye. Arcane Eye isn't horrible, but it doesn't really work for the scale that we're thinking about. Charm Monster, Compulsion. Charm Monster is not a bad idea. Conjure, Control, Death, Dim, Divination. Remind me of this one. Puts you in contact with a god or god's servant. You ask one question about a specific goal, event, or activity to occur. DM offers a truthful reply, which might be a short phrase. The spell doesn't account for circumstances more than once before finishing, unless there's a cumulative 25% chance for each casting that you get no answer. I kind of like Divination. Oh, Fabricate's really good. Divination, I am happy to replace Divination. Freedom of movement, that's not a horrible plan. Hold on, is freedom of movement already on the Ranger spell list? It feels like it should be. Yeah. All right, we're gonna skip that one then. Hallucinatory terrain, Lehman's chest. We're good if we need to be. Well, hey, men drink black coffee. Damn straight we do. Hey, cheers to you, my guy. Hold on real quick. Coffee break. What up? This is my Saturday morning workbench. I design, illustrate, and publish role-playing games. I am specifically working on 5th edition 2024 content. Right now we're building subclasses for Spelljammer. I published a book on the DMsGuild for Spelljammer. If you aren't familiar with it already, you can look at my description here and roll down here to Spelljammer. And here's the book. And here is the full preview. It's a 107-page document, so you can read the entire thing if you want to check it out. It uses different. If you check out the front end of the stream later on, basically what this does is it works with scale. So instead of 5-foot scale for characters, you're looking at 50-foot scale for fighter craft like X-wing and TIE fighters and stuff. Veritech, all these things fit inside of a 50-foot space. And then there's vessels that are larger that fit inside 50-foot at the 500-foot scale, like a here, just to show you some examples. Here's some of these are all tokens that you get if you buy the thing, and all these numbers are referring to the different weapon systems that they have. And so you use your character's action economy to command crews of siege crews. So like if I want to fire a ballista and I'm an 11th level fighter, which gives me 3 attacks per round, if I roll high enough on my attack roll when I command my siege crew to attack, as part of the attack action, they automatically reload the weapon to fire it again. Kind of like the crossbow expert feat that allows you to automatically reload your crossbow as part of the attack action whenever you make an attack. This is allowing you to do that as well, as long as you roll a high enough number. If you don't hit that number threshold, then you have to spend an action, like an attack action, a bonus action, a reaction to reload the weapon. So you either get to reload it for free, or you have to issue an additional command to reload the weapon specifically. The more weapons that you're firing at the same time, like if I have, like say, for example, on this, we zoom in here, here's a squid ship, and you can see we have a trebuchet, 2 harpoon flingers, 2 ballista, another 2 ballista. There's an eldritch cannon on the top of the mast, 2 more harpoon flingers, and then it has a piercing ram. So that's a bunch of weapons. And if I wanted to, like, I could fire the trebuchet and all 4 ballistas together, but it's highly unlikely. Like maybe a 17th level character would be able to roll high enough to have all those weapons reload all the time. But if I can't, every single one of them needs a separate action to reload. So I can hit you with a heavy front end volley that just does a shitload of damage. If I hit, maybe I'll destroy a ship. If I miss, or they dodge, or they deflect, or a number of other reactions they can take, I am now down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weapons until I can get them all coordinated. And if we're using pool economy, everyone on the team can contribute a bonus action to help reload all the weapons to order crews specifically. Otherwise, your fighter is going to be like spending the next full round with attack, 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 bonus action, reaction. All 5 of the weapons are now reloaded. Maybe somebody else can give the command to fire all the weapons. Anyway, and then at the scale that we're working at the 5, 50, and 500 foot scale here, you can see as we go down into the combat section, here's how the different scaling works. So like if we're at the 500 foot scale, ships, it doesn't matter, ships fit inside of 1 square at the 500 foot scale. At the 50 foot scale, a fighter craft fits inside of 1 square, but this becomes like a 5x5 gargantuan sized creature. And at the 5 foot scale, we have true size. And you can see like in this example here on true size, we have a fighter craft landing on the back of a vessel that's now just dumping troops out onto the deck to attack at the 5 foot scale. So this, you could be having a deck fight with your fighter making attacks and issuing commands to have your ship return volley against these Starmoth ships as part of your action economy. And then at the fleet level, at the 500 foot square, you can see there's multiple ships that fit inside of 1 500 foot square. So each of these is a separate squadron of inside the fleet. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ships here actually has 24 of these larger ships and 32 of these little fighter craft. So this is actually a pretty formidable fleet. And then here you can see at the 10 by 10 scale, that's a full mile, and the Imperial Citadel from Light of Xeraxis sits inside of a 1 mile square. So these are the different scales that we get to operate with. And then you see how our action economy works for your character. So one of the things that changes is scale and movement with ships. The next is action economy and how your characters spend their actions, performing different roles on the ship, changing from round to round. And then there's the if we click on this button here, it'll take us down to our exploration chapter. And then how abilities check work with piloting and being able to visualize objects in space. So those are like the three major components that changes how ship combat can become centered around your character's 5e action economy, where all their assets and all their character is focused on. We're now expanding it so those actions of that character can affect a larger scale of combat or adventure. So all the features that we have in these like the ranger, while piloting, the ranger can make the ship invisible, or like while piloting, a ranger doesn't have to sleep, eat, or drink. Like these are some we're making subclasses for all 13 of the classes that are in D&D, including the Artificer. God bless you. So right now we're just fleshing out the Ranger's spell list, and then we'll be moving on to the Cleric and the Druid, and we'll be doing that till probably till 10:45, maybe 11 o'clock, and then we'll switch to Theros. We'll do Theros Backgrounds because we're converting all the Magic the Gathering stuff into 2024 as well. So yeah, that's what we do, and then. When I get a book to a point where I can publish it, and I hand it off to an editor to clean it up, we then do page layouts and all the artwork. And it's like Monday through Friday in the morning, I do artwork for an Eberron adventure that I'm writing that'll also be published on DMsGuild. And once that's out of the way, all these other books rack forward on my workbench, so I'll start doing artwork and book covers for all these different ideas that we're playing with here to prepare them for book production. And then once we get them back from our editor, we do the page layouts, and then all the artwork that goes into the pages, we build that all out. Like if you check out my Spelljammer stream, the Spelljammer production playlist, like all of these little doodads and pieces of art that are in here, this is all stuff that we painted while I talked about the game and shit like this. Except instead of me flipping around a book and writing text, I'd be on Photoshop painting all that artwork. So, fun process. When I start doing Kickstarters in 2026, the way that works is I make a book, people fund it, and then we start in. And what you'll see is the same process, but for a book that would have already been funded by Kickstarter. So anyone that comes through the door that's interested, it'll be out published eventually. But if you're a backer, it's like, hey, I was thinking about X, Y, or Z. It's like, let's play with that idea and see if we can fold it in. Since you're a backer, you should have some rights to have a commentary. If you have an idea about a piece of art I'm working on, maybe if you're a Kickstarter backer and you jump in, it's like, yeah, I think a chain whip or whatever would be cool here. It's like, that actually is really cool. Let's do that. So it becomes more interactive, and the community can be a part of the process of building it. And of course, I do playtesting for all my shit on my Discord channel. We're doing the Martial Power System right now, and so you can jump into my Discord, which is right here. So the more the merrier. And then on DMsGuild, all my stuff is 100% free, basically as a resume for when I start doing Kickstarters. There's like a dozen some odd books I've made on Kickstarter already, and you can, or here on DMsGuild, and you can read all of them 100%. So you know, like if I did a Kickstarter project for something like this, this is the level of quality that you can expect or better, depending on how much I've evolved. So this is basically the DMsGuild is provided a venue for me to be able to prove my mettle and develop my skills. So I can point to these things. It's like, check them out. They're all free preview. This is the kind of work that I'm looking to do, and here's the new ideas I have for this upcoming Kickstarter, blah, blah, blah. So, but we'll be getting that into 2026. So that's the long curve of what we're doing here. So, thanks for asking. Let's get back into our spell list here, because we're trying to finish out the list of spells. We're missing, Fabricate sounded like a good idea. Divination. Divination is a shaky one. I'm not 100% on Divination. So let's see if there's something else that, remind me of how Faithful Hound works. Yeah, right on, man. Welcome to it. You conjure a phantom watchdog in an occupied space that you can see within range. The hound remains for the duration. No one but you can see the hound, and it's intangible and vulnerable when a small or larger creature comes within. If you upscale it 300 feet or half a mile, amplifying spells. If you upcast one spell slot, you expand the range and area by 10. And if you upcast with 2 spell slots, you up it by 100. So because there's a 10 times and 100 times scale that we work with for combat. 5-foot scale for a person, 50-foot scale for fighter craft, 500-foot scale for ships. And then the next scale up is 5 feet, 50 feet, 500 feet, 1 mile. Because in America, 5,240 feet is a mile, so just round it down. 5,000 feet equals 1 mile. So 5 feet, 50 feet, 500 feet, 1 mile, 10 mile, 100 mile, and 1,000 miles. The fastest a spelljamming ship can go is 100 million miles per day, which breaks down to roughly 10 million miles every 2 hours, which roughly breaks down to 1 million miles every 10 minutes, which breaks down to about 100,000 miles every minute, which breaks down to 10,000 miles every 6 seconds. A round is 6 seconds long. The maximum distance that a spelljamming helm on average can move per round is 10,000 miles, which means in combat on a ship, while in a run and gun like chase scene, a square of movement is 1,000 miles, and your ship can move 5 squares as an object interaction, which replaces movement of your character because they're sitting in a chair. They're not moving. So let's use their movement as object interaction to steer the ship. That becomes each square is 1,000 miles. And then if you use the dash action, you get another 5 squares, which ends up totaling 10 squares times 1,000 miles. 10,000 mile maximum speed for a spelljamming ship. Sometimes you can get more squares out of it. Sometimes you move less. In the course of a 24-hour day where you move 100 million miles, whether you moved 8 or 16,000 miles this past 6 seconds doesn't really matter. So you can have spells that increase your speed, and you convert that to how many squares does it move, like in 4th edition, and then you translate that to how many extra squares of movement does my ship get during combat, and now you can move more squares at whatever scale you're operating at. Anywhere from 5-foot scale, because you're just coasting alongside your character. Like if your ship is animated, for instance, and it's your dog now. So your fighter craft is your dog, and it loves you, and it likes to play along with you. So while you're walking, your dog is floating behind you. It's moving at the 5-foot scale. Nothing. But at any time, if it thinks if there's risk of danger to you, it could grab you and then take off at 1,000 miles per round. So, or 10,000 miles per round. Just grab you and go. So like that's just a visual example of how you can change scales. Like they can stop and in place and hover. 5-foot scale, 50-foot scale, 500-foot scale, 1 mile, 10 mile, 100 mile, 1,000 mile scales. That's how fast you can just yeet out of there. The faster you ramp up the speed from 1 second to the next, that's inertia. If you ramp your speed too quickly, you could potentially stun the people that are aboard for a round as they shake off the inertia effect. That's one of the optional mechanics that are in the game. But so we were looking at Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound here as a potential watchdog over your ship. No one but you can see the Hound is intangible and vulnerable. Small, larger creature comes within 30 feet of it without first speaking the password that you specify when you cast the spell. The Hound starts barking loudly. It also has True Sight with a range of either 30, 300, or half a mile, 3,000 foot range. On later turns, you can take the magic action to move the Hound up to 30 feet. At the start of each of your turns, the Hound attempts to bite one enemy within 5 feet of it, or 50 feet of it, or 500 feet of it. That the enemy can succeed on a dexterity check, saving throw, or take 4d8 force damage. That damage does not amplify. Only the area of effect or the range of the spell, so that the physics of D&D game mechanics still work. Ships generally don't have more than 500 hit points. If you're attacking a ship directly with your sword, you're either stupid or high enough level to know that you can actually damage the ship, and you can. So there's that. But the Faithful Hound is most useful on a ship in case something like let's say space sharks catch wind of your crew, and they use their sprint ability to hop into your gravity plane, and now they're coasting along with your ship, hiding in the shadow of your ship. Like that one episode of Firefly when Jubal Early was hunting River Tam. He slipped into their atom wake, and they couldn't pick up on him being there. He was hiding inside of their gravity field. That's what you can do with this system. So the Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound would detect if something is sliding into your gravity field. That's super fucking useful. So we're going to replace Divination with Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound. Like, that sounds like a really useful thing. Like, that sounds like a ranger thing to have. Morty's Faithful Hound. And we already decided to pick up Create Spelljamming Helm, which is infinitely useful. But now let's go fetch another 5th level spell, and we'll be done with the Ranger. Yeah, Coffee, you're welcome to ask me anything about anything that you're checking out. I don't mind at all. This is just an open workbench. I'm just getting work done and having an opportunity to interact with people. The life of an artist and a writer is incredibly lonely. So one of the things that I've discovered I can do to help mitigate the silent suffering is to stream so that people can see what's going on. Oh, fucking A. I love Awaken so much. Awaken is such a great spell. If your ship is made of living material or like wood or chitin or bone, you can permanize Awaken on it to make your ship become a pet. So it can then pilot its own helm by focusing on itself. It could inspire, kind of like Goku in Dragon Ball Z. If you just focus on your heart, it lifts you. That's what the Awakened ships can do. You can animate a ship as well, but it's not autonomous. It doesn't have its own free will. But you can animate a ship so that it operates under your command without having to sit in the seats. But awakened ships become actual living creatures that can be your sidekick. So we will be publishing sidekicks for ships, fighter ships, utility ships, and spell amplifiers. The 3 types of warrior, expert, and caster we're translating into war machine, exploration vehicle, and mana amplifier. So those as your sidekick ship, you can customize it basically becomes a third person that your team doesn't then get bound to sitting in the chair, and you can just call your pet and it'll fly down and grab you from the dungeon, and then you can fly off to the next world. Really great for space hex crawls. But it's also not something I necessarily think fits the motif of what the Ranger is doing. You damn straight this is going to be on the Druid's list of automatic stuff, as would Animate Object. Animate Object is not a natural Druid's. No, it is. No, I'm still on Awaken. Nope. Yeah, that's Awaken, and here we are. Animated Object. Bard, Sorcerer, Wizard. Yeah, giving that to Druid is going to be cool. I love those things, but they don't feel appropriate for the Ranger specifically. And I only need one because Create Spelljamming Helm is a 5th level spell itself. So I'm just looking for something that feels right. High levels. By the time you get to 5th level, your 17th level, you don't need to sleep anymore while you're at the helm. There'll probably be something in here. I could take Animate Object if I have to. Mislead. Planar Binding. Pass Wall. Ooh, Scrying is good. Yeah, let's go Scrying. I'm pretty certain Scrying is the right decision. Swift Quiver. Teleportation Circle. I don't think Scrying is on the Ranger's list, so that makes me think it's a really good idea. Yeah, not there. Cool. All right. Easy peasy. Scrying. And you can use your orrery station as it's the navigation system, like the sonar ping system thing. If you saw the intro art for today's session, that's not it. The intro art that we chose was from the equipment section. There you go. Here's today's highlighted art. This is an orrery station, so it creates a hologrammatic representation of the wild space system that you're in, and you can use those ability checks to zoom in to be able to spot objects. Like here you see, here's a system with a central star and some planets. Here's one planet that's been zoomed in on, and then you can see here in orbit. You zoom in again, and you can see a wasp ship. So this is a representation of how this character would be using the orrery station to be able to detect trouble around this planet that they're exploring in this system. You are somewhere in here. You're not on the map. You're not mapping yourself right now. So there you go. Anyway, that's what an orrery station does. So using the scry device, or you casting the scrying spell, you can cast it through the orrery station, pick a location that you can see, and then scry that area specifically in close detail. Super fucking useful. So we will call that, we're going to call the Void Hunter complete. The rogue is already taken care of. Let's go down to, did we need flurry of attacks, monk, swift sails. Yeah, the monk's all about piloting too. And this is most of the subclasses in here are either about piloting, or commanding siege crew, or rolling as a support character, doing things like with navigation and stuff like that. Like the ranger build there was specifically about being a pilot or support character, while the monk is 100% pilot. Because like with this supplement, you don't have to be a spellcaster to pilot. All you have to do is just focus concentration on the chair while you're sitting in it, and you can perform the tasks. So creating subclasses that lean into the idea of any character can be a pilot was one of the goals of this, is to really lean into like divorcing ourselves from the need to have that. And plus with 2024, the combat mastery system, we gave all the weapons that ships can be equipped with, we gave them mastery properties. So now since the action economy that we're using for ship combat is the same as your character's action economy of making multiple attacks per round, having weapon masteries makes sense for those ship weapons. It makes them just that much more like actual characters that you're performing at these larger scales, which is the point of the mecha project of us doing the Warforged machines, War Titans versus Kaiju, so that we can instead of being shaped like animals, they're shaped like people, and so we can get colossal sized swords and shit like that we can use to fight colossal sized monsters and giants and stuff. So we'll be playtesting that, I think, in February. So if this is stuff that's interesting to anybody, again, jump into my Discord channel, and I'll be making more and more announcements of that as we go along. But yeah, we are currently looking at the cleric. Cleric's taken care of, and skill empowerment doesn't. Cleric level 1, 3, 5. I don't think skill empowerment exists anymore. Yeah, no. Scrying for the cleric. Dim door, freedom of movement. Lehman's tiny hunt, sending, augury, pass without trace, lawn strider, zephyr strike. These all feel good. Improved navigation, potent mending. When you use the mending cantrip to repair a ship, you can add your wisdom modifier to the amount of hit points repaired. It's 8th level, so it should be better than that potent mending. Oh, good point. Hold on. Let's go to our book reference. Word ship, repair. Around page 13. Repairing ships with rituals equals 1 hour each. Short rests. So we're going to update that. Because the book was made for 2014, so we're updating it for 2024. So as we learn how characters are built and function in 2024, that modifies how the ships and action economy for the Spelljammer book is modified, plus the new types of actions like study, search, influence. These are new mechanical terms The way that grappling works is a saving throw that you force upon people now instead of opposed checks. So there are revisions that we do need to make to the book to be compliant with 2024. Though the 2014 version will always be available for anyone that purchases it, because you can always get backlog versions. Like the Color Mana system has like a dozen different back versions as we continue to fiddle with it over the years. And now it's going to go through a massive, like a complete rebuild. So a big glam. I'm even going to change the name of it because I want to simplify it. I think it's solid enough now that I can scrap away any of the. They were the first books I made. I was learning stuff still, and simplicity. I can make things more simple. That's a higher value. So let's see something else. When you target a ship with a spell, you don't need to spend additional spell slots to amplify the spell effect. Yeah, you don't need something else on top of that. That's super fucking good. That's Channel Divinity. But you get a Channel Divinity back by spending a spell slot, so it's kind of a wash. It's basically free upcasting, so that's super useful. Familiarity, that's good. That's good. The Potent Mending. When you use the Mending cantrip to repair a ship, you can add your Wisdom modifier to the amount of hit points repaired. Everything's going to be on a short rest now. Select a spell from your list from 1st to 5th level. You no longer have to pay additional spell slots when amplifying a spell to target a ship. You can change the chosen spell when you gain a level. You no longer have to pay additional spell slots when amplifying that spell. Way up here, it's any spell. As long as you spend your Channel Divinity, you can avoid the upcast cost. Way down here, we're now looking at... Yeah, Astral Gate's not necessary. That's a good point, though. Sojourn. That's a cool ability, but it's not specifically... I feel like I want to give that to the Druid. And you instead improved. Oof, no. That does make sense. How's that Sojourny? Potent Mending. And when using rolling dice to repair a ship with magic, you always instead of rolling automatically the result is always the highest die roll, period. Improved amplification, divine amplification, and then improved amplification. Divine amplification is when you target a ship with a spell. Channel Divinity. You can expend your use of Channel Divinity. So like if you're 2nd level, you only have 1st level spells right now. So if you would normally when you upcast, you can either to amplify, you can either use a 1st or 2nd spell slot higher, or you can use an additional 1st or 2nd level spell slot, or if you're amplifying twice, 2 1st level spell slots. But at 2nd level, you only have 2 of them. So like you're going to cash out your spell supply. If you use your Channel Divinity, you could actually upcast to the 500-foot scale and still have your spells. So that's actually really useful at low levels and stays useful throughout your entire fucking career. But and then at 17th level, pick a spell, and now you never have to worry about amplifying that one. These are all cool features, but they don't feel like Sojourn so much. But it is cleric, so it's a domain of some sort. You target a ship with a spell, improve navigation. I was thinking more adventure-y, sojourny, travel distance, but none of these features really resonate with travel. They're really more about repair. Divine navigation. While traveling the astral sea, when you roll to determine how long it takes to arrive at your destination, roll twice using the shorter duration. I love that. That's sojourny. Improved navigation is sojournish. Starting at 6th level while traveling the astral sea, you have a more clear image of your destination than you would normally have. When rolling to determine the duration of a journey, you are considered to be 1 degree more familiar with the destination than you otherwise would be. And this reduces like D6, 2D8, 3D10 number of days it takes to get from one location to another that you're focusing on while in the astral sea. So with this system, familiarity results in faster travel. So a trade guild that travels between Kryn space and realm space frequently quickly becomes very familiar with both of them. So if you're a stranger to Kryn space, it might take you 30 days to get there. Or you could hire a wayfinder that's very familiar with her and get you there maybe in 1 day. So huge advantage on gaining knowledge. This makes researching and studying a location valuable. Oh, that's something else that needs to be changed. Studying. Good point. Like page 65-ish. Study. Researching locations is now a study action. Potent mending fixes your ship. Amplification affects your ship. Fix your ship, navigate. Fix your ship and navigate. Sojourn domain feels appropriate for the navigation stuff. Investigation perception for navigation is how you use your orrery using the study or search action. What's up? Hey, Vinyo. Are you giving it proficiency? Actually, the way that the Spelljammer system works that we use is there's the orrery station, and this is a magical device that is mounted inside your ship that you focus on using the study action for investigation, search, or investigation, or insight. Those are the 3 proficiencies you can use. You don't actually need navigation tools for this. The orrery station basically covers that, so there's no real need for it, but there's no sense not giving it. That's a great point. You gain proficiency in the investigation and perception skills and navigation tools, although that's actually a really good point that I am open to exploring the idea of, since we're updating the whole document for 2024. Thanks, Finyo. I'm going to take your advice on that. This is going to be around, what page is this? Page 6. These are all the revisions that we're making now that there's a 2024 book to update the document. Page 6, navigation tools to work with orrery station for advantage. So these are subclasses. That's Spelljammer Subclasses, 13 of them total. And Sojourn, I think Sojourn's a weak title, but I think I'm going to leave it in place. We also get cantrips. So Mending and Messenger. Oh, wait. What's it called? And then we'll move into the Druid. A message, I think is what it's called, right? Yeah, Mending Message. I don't think Zephyr Strike exists anymore. It'd be faster if I do it by name and then flip it. Whew. Yeah, Zephyr Strike doesn't exist anymore. So let's scrap that. Augury still exists. Pass without trace. Okay, cool. Those all exist. But now we need a new first level spell for the cleric. Huh. False Life, Find Familiar, Fog Cloud, Goodberry, Hellish Rebuke, Heroism, Hacks, Hunter's Mark, Identify, Inflict Wounds, Jump, Lone Strider, Mage Armor. Shield's a great defensive spell to jump onto a ship, but it's got a high price. Silent Image, Sleep. Unseen Servant. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, let's give him Unseen Servant. How fun. That's a great idea. Stuck on your chair, send your servant. There we go. That works. Okay, cool. So that's done. Druid Circle of the Wayfinder. I don't know if that title is going to stick or not. Hell, Circle Vault Space. Fuck off. Bonus spells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I already know I want Animate Object to be a thing. And what are the breaking points for Druid? I don't recall offhand. It's 2, 6, 10, 14. Thank you. Druid. Circle of Wild Space. 3, 6, 10, 14. Level 3. Level 6. After this, I think we're going to switch to Theros. Level 10. Level 14. So level 14. System Strider. Plane Strider. Here we go. Plane Strider. Let's see. How does this work? It goes like let's go find our scaffold. So we're building things the same way. Land, moon, sea, and stars. Circle the sea, circle spells. There's a wild shape feature that you get to use. Use wild shape to send animation created by your Wrath of Sea increases by 10. We'll get at 6 here. Cosmic Omen. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can consult your map. You gain a perk. Moon, 6th level. It's some sort of upgrade perk, right? Yeah, improve circle form. So essentially, whatever your third level thing is, it gets better at 6. That's a very short journey. Natural recovery while in your land. Normally you don't have spells creating air. You can temporarily push away poisonous or deadly effects from you, but it can't fix the air directly. You have to dip into another atmosphere, but I'm thinking about breaking that rule for this druid specifically. That's a thought I'm having. Plane Strider. It's like Tree Strider, right? So, Plane Strider, you can once per. When you exit a system when you enter. When you enter, when you enter the astral sea from a system, you can plane shift to the edge. You can plane shift to the destination while piloting or focusing on an Ori station aboard a ship. When you enter the astral sea from a system, you can plane shift to the destination to a location within range of noticing it. You can plane shift to a location within range of noticing. You can plane shift you can plane shift to your destination, arriving at a location with range of noticing it. Basically, your entire ship. Which could be up to 500 feet in size and everything inside of it, while piloting or focusing on an Ori station aboard a ship. When you enter the astral sea from a system, you can plane shift the ship and everything occupying its space. Because, if we go back and look at the ships, in the scaling example, here, this is a great example. Circle's a square in D&D. There is no Euclidean math. So this hammerhead ship is 250 feet long. So at the 50-foot scale, it occupies a 5x5 space. 5x5 50-foot scale space. So 250 feet by 250 feet. This warbird fighter craft occupies a 50-foot space. This warbird is smaller in size than the hammerhead ship, so this fighter craft can occupy the space of the hammerhead ship. So if a wayfarer druid were to plane stride, and this warbird was inside of this area when the druid used that feature, this ship and the warbird and anything else that's just hanging out in this area within the ship's space. If we go here to the 5-foot scale, you can see the warbird occupies a 10 by 10 space at the 5-foot scale, while the hammerhead ship still occupies a 250-foot space at the 5-foot scale as well. So and you can see in this illustration that hold on, let's go down to the next one. In this illustration, you can see that there's elven troops disembarking from the Warbird onto the Hammerhead's deck. So if the Druid were to trigger Plane Stride now, it would just take all these troops with it. What you would want to do is try to shake it. You'd want to try to use evasive maneuvers to shake the fighter craft out of your gravity field. Because once it gets inside of your gravity field, it can basically just sit inside of your gravity field. And wherever you go, you're going to tow these ships with them, even though they're attacking you. So you have to use the disengage action to try to knock them out of your gravity plane so you can move away from them. And if they are anticipating that, they can use their reaction to pace you. So even if you're trying to disengage, you can get paced and they can stay inside your space. You'll have to try to scuttle them, knock out their concentration, or like use a push feature like from, like say, one of the siege, like a siege weapon, to punt them out of your space, so then you could flit away and not have them follow you anymore. So that's what it means by the ship and anything that occupies its space. That's what that wording means there for the Plane Strider. That is rifting off of the Tree Stride spell, which is a 5th level spell which your character would have gotten already, and Plane Shift, which is a 7th level spell which your character would have access to if they don't. I don't think they actually do have access to it, but normally they would at 7th level. I mean, if it's on your spell list by the time you get to level 7, 7th level spells you get at 13th levels of class. So the subclass comes in after you gain that spell, so you can create options for subclass features themed around or similar to spells of a level that they might not normally have access to. So Plane Strider is a good example of that. Arriving at a location within range of noticing it. You can you regain this feature when you finish a long rest. Level 10, I don't know what that's going to be. Level 3, let's see, Circle of... It was Circle of the Wayfarer, which is a non-statement. It's just basically Spelljammer mishmash. There you go. There's a sort of nebulous similarity between a lot of these features across the different subclasses, but you got to figure in a party of 5, maybe one of them will pick a Spelljammer specific subclass. So I'm not concerned about similar features like navigation modifiers or like amplification modifiers or movement modifiers. This is the language of mechanics that we speak in at the scale of combat with ships and navigation. So there is going to be a lot of similarity. We're just looking at how different classes can approach these ideas in different ways. So in a way, we kind of want them to be similar, so we can see how different classes can express these ideas. It's a very limited range of options that are expressed in a lot of different ways across the subclasses. That's what I'm trying to say. So we have our wild shape subclass feature. What time is it? Oof, it's almost 11 o'clock. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the druid here for now, and then we're going to shift gears because I have an hour left. So I'm going to shift gears and get into Theros. So we're going to fold up the orbital, and we're going to open up the martial power characters here, and I'm going to drop message here amongst the crew, copy, paste, and let's just put out notifications to the NTG channels that I'm doing Theros stuff right now. There we go. And we'll drop that out of view. So we're going to be switching over to the Martial Powers document. Let's see, playtest content. You can click through my Patreon here. It'll take you to the playtest content. So if you click YouTube here, that's us. Hi. Otherwise, you click the Martial Powers button, and it is going to open a read-only Google Doc that you see here. It's the same Google Doc that I'm using over here. Maybe up here. No, we're deep inside the document. But this is the document that we're using. It's this is completely available for everybody. It's like 160 pages right now. It creates the entire martial power system, which is an alternate magic system for martial characters. All martial characters, barbarians, fighters, monks, rogues, as well as paladins and rangers, they all use the same half-casting scaffold system here. We convert all of them into short rest casters, like a monk with 20 mana, instead of long rest casters. If you're looking at the Magic the Gathering bundle, the color mana spell point variant rule system that I have, which is here. If you click that, again, all this stuff is 100% free preview. It replaces the 8 schools of magic with the 5 color magic system, replaces spell slots with a 1-to-1 ratio spell point system. If you drop down here, this is the fastest way to look at it. The universal spell points and high magic system that we have here. Very simple scaffold. Full casters get 80 mana by 20th level. Half casters get 40 mana by 20th level, and third casters like Eldritch Knight and Arcane Trickster, they get 20 mana by 20th level. As spellcasters in default, using this system, this is long rest. And then the sorcerer gets 20 sorcery points, which blend into the mana pool. So technically, a sorcerer has 100 mana at 20th level, not 80. But a 9th level spell costs 9 points. A 5th level spell costs 5 points. A 1st level spell costs 1 point. So here's your mana points. First level, you get 2 spell points. Half casters at first level now also get 2 spell points because of 2024. And then here's how they scale up. At 3rd level, a full caster has 8 mana, which is going to be like a 3rd level spell, 2 first level spells, 2 second level spells and a 1st level spell, or 8 first level spells, or 4 second level spells, or 2 3rd level spells and a 2nd level spell. At these lower levels, you actually have less magic per day, and you're going to lean on your cantrips more, but you have more flexibility on what you're casting. Like, you can spam out 8 first level spells per day. That's pretty good. Or you can lean into, if you're going to cast a bunch of 3rd level spells, at 3rd level you only have 1 3rd level spell, 3 second level spells, and 4 first level spells. That's a ton of magic. But as you go up in higher and higher levels, you end up a 20th level wizard using the spell slots of 2 6th level spells, 2 7th level spells, an 8th level, and 9th level spell by 20th level. You actually have 89 mana. So all we're doing with this 80 point system is we're trimming off 9 spell points to make it even and a little, because spell points are powerful. That flexibility that you get is powerful. So by crimping the amount of spells that you can cast along the way to be a little more restricted, you end up being able to spam out shitloads of low-level magic as you scale up. But you only have 1 action per round. You only have 1 bonus action per round. You only have 1 reaction per turn. If you want to burn that on a low-level spell, you could have burnt it on a 5th level spell. So me allowing you to be able to spam low-level spells, it's basically, how do you want to spend your action economy? Because you're probably only going to have maybe 16 rounds of combat today, and then the rest of it's just exploration dump. So all these combat spells that you have, you only have 16 rounds to blow as much mana into combat as you can. If you're finding that you're needing to spend 2nd, 3rd, 1st level spells to get done what you need to get done, you're inefficient with your mana pool, but optimizing your strategy and tactics. So lean into it. It's not like you have to burn this mana and it's gone. It just gives you the flexibility of having a shitload of options for you to be able to build the action economy loop that you want for your character. Concentration can still get shattered. So your 5th level spell that you were concentrating on, you lost it. That's cool. I just spent another 5 points of mana next round to get it up and running again. That cost me my action economy, but the mana pool allowed me to sustain the effect that I want. A lot of really fun give and take. But this is all built off of just generic spell casting, and so here's your long rest mana. The martial power system that we are developing is working off of a short rest. Every character except for full casters are now short rest resources. So your paladin, your artificer, your warlock, your your ranger, your barbarian, your fighter, your rogue, your monk, all of them are going to be hungry for short rests. So if the wizard's like, I've still got 30 points left, but I spent my 6th level spell slot. Let's cash it. It's like, fuck no, man. You still have a fuck ton of mana to blow through. Let's take a short rest and go attack some more of this dungeon. That's the idea that we're trying to promote here. And we have all the mechanics that go into channeling powers that parallels what you can do with spell casting. So we're going to end up taking all of these mechanics and then going into the into the player's handbook, into the spell casting chapter, and then lay it out basically section by subsection, parallel. Where is this Quandrix? Okay, let's go to. We want to be in Theros, is where we want to get to. But for now, let's go to game rules, sources, 2024. So when we build out, when we actually get into final product, because right now it's just a giant list of ideas. We have to restructure it into the same structure. So spells, chapter 7 spells. This now becomes chapter 1 powers, and we can see how are they breaking this all apart. Gaining powers, preparing powers, always prepared powers. Because of your bonus list, right? Channeling powers, power rank, mana, channeling, generating free mana would be casting without slots. Instead, it would be generating free mana, because you can use your action economy to generate mana. So we'll lean into that. Meta powers. We won't look at this exact second because it is offline, but I want to roll through these things. That's kind of important to me. So there's generating mana, and then there's meta powers, which are like cantrips. Let's see, using higher up channeling, and then the 5 disciplines, class power lists, channeling time, channeling range. Channeling, what would be visual, expressing channels like visualizing or sound effects or feelings. So we'd have visual and physical, visual and tactile sensations and audible, but those are all optional. They're just effects. They just have to be present so that people can see who's generating the power, unless you use subtle channeling, which hides those effects. Duration, that's its own category for the duration of powers, and then effects of powers, which is targeting powers, targeting yourself with powers, targeting others, saving throws against powers, attack rules with powers, overlapping and combining powers, combining and overlapping with spell effects and powers. And then the next section is spell descriptions. So then it would be power descriptions. And we go through all the powers. And then we're done. So we can have every one of those sections parallel with the powers to be able to lay it out. That'll be the front of the book. And then after that will be the class option. So you explain what powers are, and then what the class feature, what the classes are, and what they can do, and how they're modified using powers. And then all the subclasses for each of the classes, and then the magic equipment of those classes, and then DM tools. So right now we're working on backgrounds for Theros, Strixhaven, and Ravnica. We got through so one of the things that we did is we decoupled the backgrounds from the renown system. Renown is now carrying the weight of the bonus spells that we get and the bonus perks that we get for being part of, like, say, a Ravnica guild or a Strixhaven college. You get bonus spells from the Strixhaven college, and you get the perks like the familiar mascot, the advanced mascot, and we added in the steed mascot, which is basically find steed mascot. Find familiar mascot, find steed mascot, advanced mascot. I haven't done the math yet to see if Advanced Mascot overlaps with Fine Steed or not. Like, I know that Advanced Mascot becomes something that's capable of combat, but I think Fine Steed outstrips its combat capabilities, so I'm fine with that transition step. I don't know, but they're all basically getting the same perks. So I don't know what the 4th rank and 5th rank Renown perks are going to be yet. But basically, we converted Renown into whatever your level is times 3. That's the amount of Renown that you need on a half-casting scale. So level 1, level 5, level 9, level 13, and level 17. That's where you get 3, 15, 27, 39, and 51 from. That's still the same scale. Ravnica scale and piety in Theros, which I'm just going to call Renown. This is the Renown is the scaling from Ravnica is 30 through 50. So this is only changing scale by 1. And in Ravnica, they only had 4. They had 3, 10, 27. No, it was 3, 10, 27, 51. And there wasn't any real rhyme or reason to why that was. But if you're pacing a campaign from level 1 to 20, you can naturally hit these. If you're always doing guild-focused tasks, you can naturally hit these renown marks over time. Or if you're playing a more limited campaign, like we don't intend our characters to get beyond level 10, but there's no limit on how much renown you can gain, then you can have your characters have a very slow level progression to keep threats dangerous as a grimdark campaign, but as your renown continues to increase, you still get access to these higher level spells and powers and benefits, and your mana pool, even at 5th level, your mana pool is going to be big enough to be able to utilize 5th level, 5th rank stuff that's going to cost 5 mana. So even if you cap your campaign at 5, you're still able to make use of the full curve if that 5th level character gets up to 51 renown. You'll get these spells even though you wouldn't normally be able to cast them because your renown allows you to, and you have enough mana to do it. So that's where we're at right now. I haven't thought of good ideas for what these would become. I mean, there's always there is Flock of Familiars, which was I think is a 3rd level spell from Tower of the Mad Mage, which gave you, as a concentration effect, it gave you up to 4 familiars, minus if you have a fine familiar already summoned. So Flock of Familiars would allow you to summon a squad of advanced or steed mascots. I'd be fine with that as a 13th level feature, although the game is generally trying to lean away from ads, like not having a bunch of minion creatures added to the battlefield to try to keep it simple. I respect that. So I'm not automatically going in that route. I don't know what these benefits should be yet, but technically, Curriculum of Chaos, Strixhaven only goes to 10th level. So I could be a cheeky bastard and not have any benefits beyond here because technically the college doesn't provide any benefits beyond common magic. So these would be high magic ideas. So the idea is simple magic is cantrips and rituals. Common magic is spell levels 1 to 5, which you can generally gain by 9th level. High magic is the 6 and higher level spells, and then there's epic magic, which is basically like the wish spell, permanently sacrificing mana to change the world permanently. That's epic level magic. So anywhere from no magic, it's like to not spending any mana, through spending mana to permanently spending mana. That's the scale that we have. And you don't gain epic magic until 20th level. You start altering reality there. It's a great way to end your campaign. Change the world and then retire. That's a great way to cap a campaign. So here we should be looking at high magic effect. And 51, you're only 17th level. You're not high enough level character to technically alter reality. But this renown list breaks the rules of spell progression for characters. So we can go epic magic effect. Epic magic. There, just epic magic. There you go. I don't know what the high magic effect is going to be yet. But epic magic is basically you can do that wish effect. You can burn your mana permanently to wish reality into existence. So we're going to just flip those out. Like a wizard can just do it at 20th level as a class feature. This is allowing us, if you basically become the Perun of your guild, you can use your white and black magic and silver quill to permanently alter reality. But it will cost you your mana permanently to do so. So, you know, user beware. But it's a good ability. So I like that. I'm good with it. High magic effect, not sure what that's going to be yet. But I like the idea, doing something with high magic. Which is like, you know, like I said, 6 through. Oh, maybe, bonus high magic. Let's see, 39 to 51. My brain is mathing on me, so let's respect the process. So there's 6th level, 7th level, 8th level, and 9th level spells. There's technically Wish, which we made a 10th level spell at 19th level, but that's the only one epic magic, so that doesn't count. And then when we get access to this stuff, we have 39 to 51. That's an array of 12. 43, 47, 51. So, renown, level 6. That was easy. 9, 8, 7. Let's go down to find familiar mascot equals Strix feet for familiar. Advanced mascot equals Strix feet for advanced familiar. Steed mascot equals ritual casting of familiar. Now casts Flying Steed instead. No concentration. Bonus high magic. Equals gain 1 spell of your college's colors from any spell list. You can cast once per day. Renown. Mana. Mana. There, because it's 1 point per mana per level. So once you get to 39 renown, regardless of what your casting level is, you're so steeped in that college of magic that you can pluck a spell. So bonus high magic, gain prepare one spell of your college's colors from any spell list you can cast once per day. The level of spell is equal to or less or lower is equal to or less than the level indicated for the rank of for the amount of renown you have. There. So 39, 49, 43, 57, there, blah, blah. So bonus high magic. This makes sense. I'm happy with this. Now, of course, each Ravnica background has their own unique things, but we added a level. So the tiers of the ranks of renown, or the tiers of renown in the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica only has four tiers. We're adding an extra tier step at the half casting scale. So we're gonna have to invent new features for each guild, and I'm kind of excited about that. But since 2014 is out of date and we're updating everything to 2024, I don't have to necessarily follow any of the rules that they've established for renown. I can lean into, modify, and expand on those ideas as I please. So epic magic equals you can use the epic casting feature of the wish spell. There. So that's let's go with college perks. College perks. This is not Theros. I am painfully aware this is not Theros, but this is all stuff that needed to get done regardless. So I am happy about this, but this finishes off Strixhaven. So we're now officially done with bonus high. This is actually appropriate for the theme of the Strixhaven classes of the colleges. So I'm really happy with this. This was a fucking success. For those that have played in Strixhaven, creating a renown system for the college gives you creates an idea of class credits. So as you gain credits, we could call it. Actually, let's do that. Credits. Isn't that fucking cool? So we just made a college system. Why Wizards didn't think of this? Well, I mean, I didn't think of it. It's been out for years, right? And I've only just now thought of it. So I can't be too harsh on Wizards for not having thought of this either. But, yeah, this suddenly got super fucking cool, didn't it? Fucking credits. Oh my fucking god. College credits. As your character completes courses and research, and field trips for your studies, you gain credits in your chosen college. As you accumulate new totals, you gain access to additional college benefits. Credits. Benefit. Gain the Strix feat for familiar. Strix for kids. 15 credits. Advanced. I don't need this much space. There. That's sufficient. Holy fuck. I love this. This is so much better than it was originally. Well, my opinion, of course. I'm super fucking biased. So, I mean, take that with a massive salt lick. Gain the Find Steed spell. You can summon a mascot as a ritual using this spell. No concentration. As a magic action or ritual without concentration. As a magic action or ritual without concentration. And then 51. So cool. I am just in love with this. I've not ran a Strixhaven campaign yet because the Martial Powers book isn't done. Once the Martial Powers book is finished, I 100% want to run a Strixhaven campaign. How much fun is that gonna be? I also want to use Martial Powers to have Mage Tower tournaments. I think that'll be a ton of fun as well. Holy shit, that's awesome. College credits, of course. It's so intuitive. Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm completely geeking out over here. Don't mind me. Okay, so we do need to. Okay, let's just finish the scaffold here real quick. Bonus high magic. God, that's so fucking cool. I can release this as a separate little thing. I could bundle this with USP for just an easy thing. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Another book that's like 80% done. Oh, all right, great. So finally, we're getting into, it's 11:30. Holy shit, we still have a half hour left. That's great. So now we can finally get into Theros. So we have... Okay, so here's my complication. Devotion is a great word as a general catch-all category for what renown, college credits, and piety is. Devotion, unfortunately, is currently being used as the descriptive term for what colors you can use to cast a spell. So like cure wounds, for instance, that is devoted to white and green magic. But I could also say, what is your character's devotion to Rakdos? I don't have devotion to Rakdos, which means you don't use Rakdos's black-red mana, and you don't have any renown with that guild. Or I could say, what is your devotion to Azorius? Like maybe you have 36 renown. Well, my devotion to Azorius is 36 renown. So that's devotion as opposed to devoted to. Like what colors is that spell devoted to? what type of magic is that spell devoted to. It doesn't have devotion. Devotion is character with background, while being devoted to is the color of magic. It's tricky, and in a lot of ways it means the same thing, because like Rakdos is devoted to black and red, and you can have devotion with Rakdos to gain ranks or to gain additional renown, which eventually gives you free magic of those spells. So yeah, that's all kind of self-reinforcing there. I dig that. We were also playing with the idea of there's the perks. The idea was down in, I think we have it down in Theros here. Yeah, let's start building Theros. Because what I want to do is get rid of the specific spell list and instead replace it with a flexible spell list. Pick any 2 spells that are devoted to the colors of your guild, or any 2 spells that are devoted to the colors of your college. From any spell list, you now have access to those spells. So that allows your character to become incredibly unique in its action economy and what it has access to by gaining those college credits, or by gaining that renown, or increasing that piety. I really like that. So I think that's what we need to do. So this is about to get to be a much simpler list, but up to first, up to second, and when it's powers, up to third. Since there are no specific powers that are assigned to colors, this just basically becomes add 2 powers of your choice. Up to fourth, or if you're assigning color to devotion to disciplines, which you could do if you decided to, you could then operate under that manner. Up to fifth. But naturally, there is no specific there, like that. Oh yeah, and then we can keep renown, piety, and credits. That's great. That completely works out. Strixhaven is the only one that's like super set. Like everything is exactly the same for Strix. You get the mascot stuff, you get the high magic stuff, you get the epic magic stuff. None of that changes. It's very static. But I think overall I'm pretty actually okay with that. There, and can I get this down to just 1 page? What is up with that spacing, dude? Fucking madness. Come on. There we go. Cool. Strixhaven College Backgrounds. Good. And Strixhaven College Backgrounds. Let's resolve this. Pick one. How about that? Let's just do that. Pick one, any list. Up to. up to first. Up to second. Up to third. Up to fourth. I have all these saved on my hard drive, so I can get them back if I want, but I don't really want to. I really like this path instead. And now this all becomes same block. Silver Quill. Quandrix. Nice. So we're going to have to come back and look at some... we'll need to build out some Ravnica perks. Most of them are already built out for us, but we're going to have to go back and revisit them. But this is the way. This is absolutely the way. Ravnica. Cool. Strixhaven. Cool. Credits. Very good. Renown. Good. Credit. Mondrix. Good. Fuck it, whatever. Skip it. Credits. God, this is so cool. All right. And I'm almost done geeking out. Divine Piety. As your character performs tasks and sacrifices and offers tributes to their chosen god, you gain piety with your chosen god. You gain piety. Theros doesn't have specific backgrounds. They just have piety with gods. So backgrounds and races for Theros are completely unchanged. That is what we did observe with Theros. So, like, being a champion of Heliod, technically doesn't matter. Like, that's just your piety. And piety can swap and switch back and forth with different gods. So I don't think I actually have a lot to do with Theros Theros Piety. Theros uses the backgrounds from the player's handbook. As detailed in the player's handbook. In addition, characters can perform tasks and offer tributes to the gods to gain piety. You can gain piety with multiple gods. You can gain piety with gods of with gods that are devoted, that share devotion with the same colors of the same color of magic. The list below indicates which color each god is devoted to. I like this. I like this idea. So we can have color devotion, which is once you hit these different benchmarks, you gain access to spells just like in Strixhaven. But then each god itself can have a perk bonus that you can hit. So you're building a color theme. I'm going to focus on white. So like Heliod, and I don't know shit about the gods of Theros. So this is going to be fun for me to learn this stuff. But since there are no backgrounds to worry about, it's actually lifting a lot of my burden. Where the fuck is my Theros list? Because I know I have Mizium gear. Fuck, I love Mizium gear. That stuff is so cool. God, I can't believe how fucking cool this whole thing is turning out. Every time I have the chance to dive into this, it just gets better. Where the fuck is my Theros list? Did I accidentally delete my Theros list? Fuck. That would not surprise me. Alright, well, I guess let's go fish. Here, and book creation. And where is... Nope, I don't actually have anything. I don't think I have anything with Theros. Let's go back into martial powers. God willing, I did pick up the older version of it. Let's go to date modified. $10, $27, $22. It's 22. Jesus. Monk stuff, playtest, trash. Oh, wrong order. Of course. Date modified. There we go. 9, 21, 24. Okay. Let's just peel this open real quick and go fetch. I am so looking forward to building all this stuff out. It's a very slow, arduous, emotional process, and I am prepared for that process. It's just going to take time. The reason I say Kickstarter's in 2026 because it's probably going to take till 2026 for me to finish all this shit. Let's get past the challenges. Characters. Those characters. Here we go. Backgrounds. Monster templates. Where's my Theros? Did I not bother listing out Theros yet? Here they are. Where's the thing I'm working on? Why do I feel lost inside my own document all of a sudden? Oh, because I was flipping around looking for my shit. Right. Because why? That's why. There you go, Kearney. Good job, kid. But we did demonstrate that we do actually have these things. Thassa is blue. I don't need this shit. Damage types. Damage types aren't currently relevant. Let's get rid of all that stuff for now. Well, this shows which color each god is devoted to. God colors. So we'd have groupings. White, 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 blue, blue, blue. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Do we want to bother with color groupings? White, blue, black, red, green. So you can start off with, once you go down a path, you start going down that path. Heliod. Thassa. Erebos. Perforos. And Nilia. Other green contenders. Let's just go back up to to white. Let's just dig through the whites. Athreos. Aphara. Iroas. Karametra. Gods of Blue. Thassa. Aphana. Sorry, Aphara. Keranos. Krufax. And Phoenix. Black Devotion. Erebos. Athreos. Mogus. Farika. Phoenix. Red. Iroas. Kronos. Mogus. Xenagos. Karametra. Krufax. Farika. Xenagos. There's our breakdowns. We can probably organize this better. But for now, it is what it is. Like, I could probably have white, blue, black. I could probably have all of this sit inside of one space. White, blue, black, red, green. See, that all fits, but I don't necessarily want to waste your time with that right now. As he does it. Blah 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 blah. We'll get it done. I'll do that on my own time. I don't need to waste yours. And we're almost out of time anyway. We're down to 10 minutes. So the idea is, in addition, characters can perform tasks and offer tributes. Characters can perform tasks and offer tributes to the gods to gain piety. You gain piety with gods that share devotions of the same color of magic. The list below indicates which colors each god is devoted to. You can gain piety with gods that share devotion with the same color magic. Yeah, that's probably basic enough. I think that's fine as is. Just leave it at that. Like, you could gain white devotion. You could also gain blue devotion, which would push white and blue together. Ephra would love that. And if you're pushing blue, the rest of the gods would love that too, that are also blue, like Thassa, etc. But if you're not pushing white's agenda, the only god that would be benefiting from that agenda of white and blue would be Aphara. So you're becoming more devoted to Aphara than anyone else by continuously pushing white and blue. You can gain more and more rank with Aphara specifically between the two, even if you're only straddling one or two colors straddling two colors at a time. But you could build a party based on color themes this way. By, like, let's focus our party on white and black, for instance. That gives you the full set of gods of the white and the black. That's going to give you like 9 gods that'll jive with what you're doing, which is a fucking pretty big, like a pretty broad theme. Aphara, I'm just gonna do this. Why do I have? Yeah. Aphara, that's right. Aphara and Kronos, because I have less than 10 minutes left, so I may as well just do this. Phoenix is the right. How bad do I want to spell that word? Phoenix. There we go. And Phoenix is supposed to be here. Thassa, Ephara, Keranos, Crufex. I miss Crufex. Crufex and Phoenix. There. Now I can get rid of blue. Theros. Is that how it's spelled? Theros. Athreos. Sorry. Athreos. Thank you. Athreos, Mogus, Pharika, Phoenix. Get rid of these. So what is it? Yeah, Athreos is the only god that is devoted to both white and black. So if you continuously did white and black missions, you would eventually gain more devotion to Athreos than any other god, becoming a disciple or champion of Athreos in the process, just because of the missions that you chose to partake in. Perforos, Iroas, Keranos, Mogus, Xenagos. And then Nalia, whatever. Nalia, Karametra, Crufex, Pharika. I love these names. Xenagos. Magic. The list below indicates which colors each god is devoted to. Theros uses the backgrounds as detailed magic. In addition, characters can perform tasks and offer tributes to the gods to gain piety. The list. Each god is devoted to one or two colors as indicated in the list below. You gain piety with gods that share devotion to the same color of magic. In addition, characters can perform tasks and offer tributes to the gods to gain piety. Each god is devoted to one or two colors as indicated on the list below. Thank you. You can gain piety. You can gain piety with gods that share devotion to the same color magic. The tasks you perform can be as you perform tasks for different gods, as you perform tasks and pay tribute different gods. Different gods, comma. You also gain piety with other gods that share devotion to the same color of magic. As indicated on the color devotion lists below. Let's go with color. Let's see. Greater God, lesser gods. There. Benefits of piety. Each god grants boons. It's gonna be piety boons. Oh, son of a bitch. Piety boons. Each god as a character gains higher piety as a character gains devotion higher devotion to devotion. Your piety is indicated by your devotion to the gods is indicated by a piety score. As you gain new total, as you increase your piety, you gain additional boons as at the listed piety scores. Piety boon 3, 15, 27, 39, 51. Minor devotion. Epic boon. You get an epic boon when you hit 51 piety. Minor devotion. Major devotion. We need 5 things. So we're going to need to have, I think, the 4 structures that we get for, I think each god grants 4 piety boons. And then there's epic, and then the epic boon. Epic boon equals gain an epic feat, which you can get as early as 17th level, which is fucking sick. But you can also get as soon as 1st level if you have so much piety accumulated in a god to warrant gaining it. So this also ignores level limits. But this is I just hit my my noon mark. That is the end of my design stream for the day. We are going to be back Monday morning to do more Eberron art. On Monday night at 7 o'clock is going to be my last Monday night stream until June, because we're going to do the Martial Powers playtest system. We'll be doing that on Monday nights from 5:30 till 9 o'clock. This upcoming Monday, it'll be my last night. I'm going to do an open desk or open mic on my Discord server to ask questions and build characters with people. Our session 0 will be on Monday, December 2nd. First actual play for the playtesting will be December 9th. So this upcoming Monday, the 25th, it's going to be basically open mic to ask questions and start doing like session -1. I'll do that from 5:30 till 7 Seattle time, which is PST. So Eastern time, East Coast, like New York, it'd be 8:30 till 10. It would be my open bench. And then I'm going to turn off the Discord stream, and I will drop back here into YouTube, and we will probably continue with Piety and finish up Piety Monday night. After the 25th, playtesting officially starts on my Discord channel at 5:30 p.m. PST till 9, which is midnight EST. So I'm sorry if that's too late for you guys, but whatever. Participate if you can. We'll be doing that from 5:30 till 9, and instead of streaming on Monday nights, I will be streaming an additional time at lunch during the week. During the week, I either have, I actually have a table that I run with coworkers during lunchtime every week, and that is typically either Monday or Wednesday. So whichever day of the week I'm going to be playing with my coworkers, the other day of the week I will stream. So and we either play Monday or Wednesday depending on what our work week looks like. So if I play on Monday, then I will stream on Wednesday. If I play on Wednesday, I will stream on Monday. And then I will still have my Thursday night stream, but occasionally I play BECME or BX D&D with Wally DM and Fred Wheeler with How to RPG and other folks that drop into rotation. So I do that like maybe once a month, but otherwise we'll continue doing design stream Thursday nights at like around 6 o'clock. We'll always be having the Saturday brunch stream unless I decide to play test a game that day, which could be like Spelljammer or something else, depending. But I like to generally only have one playtest game going at a time. And I have my home table that I run every week during the weekday. So that's 2 games that I'm DMing per week. That's enough for me. But all of this entire Martial Power document, again, is available for folks in the link down below. And you are welcome to start running games and implementing these mechanics if you want in your own games. And if you do, definitely drop into my Discord channel and tell me how it's coming along. If you do, I will give you credits for if there's enough conversation going between us and you're active enough to obviously be standing out as somebody who is participating and assisting. I will give you credits in the book as part of the playtesting team, and if you get to that level, I'll give you a free copy of the book once it publishes as well. So if you want to playtest, definitely let me know if you want to DM or if you want to play, and God bless you if you do. I'd love to have you on board. So. So that's it for now. When we catch up, it'll be Monday morning. We'll continue doing artwork for the Eberron adventure. I'm going to log out, have some brunch, and get back to work on building that Eberron book so we can get it published as fast as possible. God's willing, it's going to be in March. So March 2025, a mere 4 months from now, we'll see if I can accomplish that. If I can't, I'm not disappointed. I'm just being productive. So we'll get it done when we get it done. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today. It's great to see new faces. And if you're returning to the stream, thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, share, test, play. I'll see you guys in the future. Cheers.